Let's get it. The podcast that you need. That's facts. Push it. Push it.
Welcome to Pushing the Edge podcast, episode number 58. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, show me some love, give me some input. And I'm excited to deliver this podcast today. And today's podcast is labeled Getting an Edge in Your Life. And if you're new to the podcast, this podcast, we go over 4 different value systems, which is empowerment, drive, growth, and excellence. And the 4 outcomes that we want to focus on in this podcast and in my coaching program is igniting your life mission and purpose, transforming your body, increasing your financial opportunities and success, and increasing your ability to get results in your business and career. So let's get right into this podcast, episode number 58. Now, when we talk about getting an edge in life, most people think of, how do I get an advantage? How do I get a leg up? How do I make something happen in my life that I'm not currently executing on? And I think it's really, really important that when we look at high performance, when we look at taking ourselves to the next level, that we have to look at all facets of our life. And so it's really, really important that not only do we just look at the financial aspect, but look at our fitness, look at our mindset, look at our relationships, look at our associations, look at our environment. How are we executing in our day-to-day in our business? I think it's really critical to look at all these areas. In today's podcast, I want to go over how to get an edge in your life and then define one pillar and double down and dial in on that pillar before you start adding extra layers into your life. So the first thing is do an audit in your life. And you can do this really, really simple. So write down the 4 different pillars. You have mission, right? So this is your sense of purpose, your sense of what am I destined to be? Why am I doing what I'm doing? You have mindset. So this is your clarity, your productivity, your ability to be able to process problems, process issues, process challenges, your ability to be able to stay positive, your ability to be able to be able to problem solve and to be able to get shit done with a sense of calm and control. So mindset's really, really important. Then you have fitness. Fitness is self-explanatory, right? So fitness is going to be your energy, your vitality, obviously your body composition, but also your body performance. Like, how are you able to perform on a day-to-day basis in your physique? Are you happy with the way you look? Are you carrying extra weight? Is your body sluggish? You got to be able to look at your fitness. And then you have finance, right? So finance is, what's my income? What's my outflow each month? What does my savings and my investments look like? And really auditing your finances and seeing if there's some things that are out of alignment. And then you have the last one, which is your career or your business, right? So they go hand in hand. How's my business doing? How's my business performing? You know, am I productive? Am I performing at a high level in my sales job? Am I performing at a high level, being a leader in my company? And looking at the different areas in your business and your career and finding where are some things that are a little off. Whenever we're doing a self-audit, it's really, really important that we're 100% honest with ourselves and also only comparing ourselves with our highest version, right? So we don't want to compare against external people and external situations that are outside of us. It's a waste of time, and everybody's path is different than ours. So whenever you're doing an audit, only audit based off of, here's where I'm at now. What is my highest potential? Where's my ceiling at? And guys, I'm not talking about 2 months, 3 months. I'm talking 5 years, right? 10 years, right? So who am I in 5 years? Who am I in 10 years? What is the highest version of Blake Hawkins, right? And I want to compare myself today with that man 5 years from now, with that man 10 years from now. I don't care about other people and where they're at as far as compare myself with results. I care about people in relationships, but I don't give a shit where they're at as far as their results. The only person I'm comparing myself with is myself as far as my highest ability. So that is enough of a comparison as that is, guys. Whenever you look at your life and you audit your life and you think about the highest version of yourself, you're going to feel pressure. You should actually feel a sense of pressure. You should feel a sense of oh shit, I got a long ways to go. If you don't feel that, your vision's not big enough. If you don't feel that, the vision of who you are at your maximal level, or who you are 5 years from now or 10 years from now, is not, number one, clear enough or big enough. So guys, think big. Whenever you're doing this, think big and get crystal clear on who are you in 5 years? What is your ceiling? What is your highest potential? So whenever you're doing this audit over your mindset, your finances, your fitness, and your mission, which is your purpose, make sure you're only auditing and comparing yourself versus the highest version of you. Okay, so after you do your audit, go ahead and do a pillar for each one. Mission, mindset, fitness, finance, career, all those things out. And right below, write down the challenges that you're having in each pillar. Now, after you look at all the challenges, then identify which one do I want to really dial into for the next 60 days, okay? So we simultaneously want to obviously work on all areas of our life, and we do, but that should be part of your weekly and success system. Like the way you systematize your life and have processes in your day-to-day should be set up for you to have success in all pillars. But we're focusing on taking one of those areas and really going from here to here and getting some exponential growth. So whenever you're trying to get maximum growth, do your best to focus on one pillar, one area at a time, and really double down and dial into that. And then simultaneously, set up a structure for your week to where you're still firing on all cylinders and you're hitting on all things. So do your audit, review your audit, pick one area that you want to dial into for the next 60 days, okay? So review and pick. Now, once you have that area that you picked for the next 60 days, now we got to set a game plan, right? So we want to find, I call it the cut and add method, right? So we want to look at that current pillar. We want to identify the one biggest liability in this area of your life. And only you can do this. Find the one biggest liability in your life. And it could be a habit, it could be a person, it could be a relationship, it could be a certain characteristic that you have, it could be maybe a mindset issue or perspective. It doesn't matter. Find that biggest liability, and our job is to kill that shit as fast as possible. Okay, you want to kill this negative, this liability in this area. Now, there's processes for doing that. We're not going to go that deep on this podcast today, but this is a 30,000 foot viewpoint on what you want to do. So find the biggest liability in your area, chop it down, chop the head off, and kill it. The second thing you want to do is now you want to add an asset. You want to replace the liability and you want to add an asset. So whatever this liability is, say this is a spectrum, this is the liability. You're going to kill this sucker. What is the opposite of this? You want to add that, right? So if you're not waking up on time and you're oversleeping, then you know what the freaking asset is. Wake your ass up early, right? If it's I'm not making enough phone calls in the day in my sales position, you know what to do. You got to double down. You got to go hard in the paint for the next 60 days on phone calls, right? So now we have to replace the liability with an asset. If it's I'm drinking 25 sodas a week, you got to cut that shit and only drink water. Okay, so now we're replacing and we're turning a weakness into a strength. It's really, really important, guys, that we work on our lives just like we would work on a car, right? Just like we would work on a project. Your life is important. It's the most important vehicle. You are the most important asset that you have. So whenever you're finding the biggest liability in the area of focus that you're wanting to dial in for the next 60 days, after you find that liability and you chop its freaking head off, the next thing is how do I transform that weakness into a strength? How do I transform that liability into an asset? This is alchemy of high performance, right? We want to take a weakness and we want to turn it into a strength. We want to take lead and transform it into gold. This is a very powerful process that you can do, and you can do this systematically in all areas of your life. Finances, mindset, business, career, productivity, and fitness, all of the above. Once you find the asset that you're going to add, now you want to add frequency to it. What do I mean by adding frequency? You want to put an actual output and a number to it. So for example, if you're really bad at making sales calls, then the asset is go hard in the paint on calls, but you want to put a number on it. I'm going to make 50 calls per day, Monday through Friday. So now you know 250 calls per week is what's required for the next 60 days to take this liability and turn it into an asset. If it's I'm eating 4,000 calories a day and I only should be doing 2,400, then you know what to do. 2,400 calories is the new asset. The liability was 4,000. You're doing 2,400 calories a day, but not only that, you want to set parameters. I'm going to do 2,400 calories a day, Monday through Saturday. So guys, you want to use this in all facets. If it's mindset, if I'm watching Netflix and Hulu and I'm listening to a bunch of junk shit all day, and that's the liability and it's jacking up my mental state, then I'm gonna cut that shit, cut the freaking head off, and I'm gonna now add audiobooks every time I'm in the car driving. I'm gonna do audiobooks every time I'm working out. You see how we're doing this? We're taking the biggest weakness, we're transforming it, and we're gonna go double down hard in the paint, and we're gonna turn it into a strength, and we're gonna focus on this for the next 60 days. Guys, just this one simple way of doing an audit of your life, of your performance, finding the area that you wanna double down and you wanna exponentially grow in 60 days. After you find that area, you're gonna find and identify the biggest liability in your life, and you're gonna kill it and destroy it. And the fourth thing you're gonna do is you're gonna add an asset to transform that weakness into a strength and an asset. Guys, do this exercise ASAP. Find the area that you want to transform and take your game to another level. This is how you get an edge in life. While everybody else is falling back on their laurels, while everybody is asleep and they're not paying attention and they're not treating their life and themselves as the biggest asset, because it is, you are treating yourself as the biggest asset. You're treating your life with a sense of mission and purpose, and you're taking your game to the next level.